please join me in opening prayer. Our dear Heavenly Parents and our most beloved true parents, I am very grateful for this opportunity that we have today together as core program participants. To really put our time and effort and heart into growing and learning and becoming more refined candidates and husbands and wives for the blessing. Very grateful for Rebecca and Tim that are here to speak and inspire us for today with their testimonies. And I pray that you can join us for this time and inspired together with us. I want to offer you this prayer in all of our names and in my name, Maya Aishin Sasaki, second generation from Sasaki Best Family, attending Holy Madahan. Adieu.
Adieu.
All right, so as people are joining, we prepared a fun icebreaker. So basically what you have to do is think of 3 emojis that would describe how you vision your future spouse. Or maybe 3 emojis that represent the 3 main characteristics that you would like to have. And then go to ChatGPT, Gemini, any AI platform, and ask that AI platform to create 1 emoji out of these 3, okay? If you need 4, we will give you 4, but And after you have that image ready, try to send it in this webinar chat, and we can try to guess what are the 3 emojis that made this final picture. So let's give you maybe 4 minutes to do that. Yep. So thank you everyone for sending your future dreams in such a short time. So now David is up.
Yes, so we have a fun schedule for today. There's 2 main things. As you might have seen in the poster, we have guest speakers, super exciting. And then after that, we will have the famous core program activity we always do every cycle, which is the brother-sister Q&A activity, where you get a chance to connect with people from the opposite gender, as well as your fellow brothers or sisters. Lots of fun stuff to look forward to. But the first thing on our list is testimonies. And we have 2 wonderful speakers. I can definitely say they are really lovely people. I'm very grateful to be good friends with them, and they have a great story to share. But what I need to figure out, who's going first, the wife or the husband? Which one? The husband is going first. Okay, so please welcome up Tim to the stage.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your nice pictures in the chat. Rebecca's first picture was very strange. Maybe I need to do a few less gay jokes because it ended up being a gay couple generated by ChatGPT. But yeah, who knows? Maybe also ChatGPT is also a bit biased and is trying to support the pride culture. Anyways, so yeah, I'm here to share a little bit about myself. Just to short introduce myself, my name is Tim Berger. I live in Austria, in Vienna. I'm 21 years old. Currently work as a video producer as part of an internship at a television company. And I recently got blessed with Rebecca, my beautiful wife. Woohoo! This was really recently. It's only been a few weeks. So we're still in the process of starting married life in that sense. But yeah, David asked us to share a bit about what came before that and how we prioritized blessing preparation. So I want to share a bit about that. And I want to start by first sharing the moment where I first even considered preparing for the blessing. Back then I was 17 years old, I think. Maybe it was 16 even, I'm not entirely sure. And I was visiting back then was my HAP leader in Austria. And yeah, she was an older sister for me, also a mentor, someone who was really supporting me a lot on my journey. And yeah, I believe that during that time, she was really a person who knew me quite a lot. Um, like, if not even the best, because I was really comfortable sharing lots of things. I felt really supported by her in my journey in general. And so, knowing that, I asked her, like, oh, what do you think? Where am I in my journey in preparation for the blessing? Do you think I could go there sometime soon? And actually, she said, yeah, I think that is possible. Remember, I was 17 years old. I was like, oh, wow. I never thought that that would be her response. I think the typical response would have been like, oh, yeah, just you're going the right direction, this and that. Um, but yeah, like this was the moment where the blessing felt like a real possibility for me, like for the first time. And I was kind of surprised. I was kind of shocked, right? And I remember coming home. I went to my parents. I talked with them a little bit about that. And yeah, then took another year for me to really seriously consider that and have another conversation with my parents. And from that on, yeah, actively prepare for the blessing. So this was on the surface, like doing lots of conditions, attending workshops that are required of me, and yeah, like blessing workshops, etc. But internally, there was like a lot going on inside of myself, lots of struggles. I was struggling with the relationship with my dad. My dad was a big role in my blessing preparation time because he was kind of like my central figure in all of that. And yeah, I was also dealing with issues with porn and masturbation. I hadn't completely figured out my relationship with Heavenly Parents yet, or with our movement. And yeah, so I feel the question is kind of like also how did I navigate all of that? How did I navigate through this time of preparation, right? Because when you try to prioritize something as you give it the highest importance, right? So even when challenges they come up, you still keep going towards that goal that you have, right? You keep focusing on this. So yeah, and the thing is, I got distracted a lot. Trust me on that. There were many things that came up in my life, especially during that time. I remember there were times where I even questioned my sexual orientation. I remember there was times when, uh, yeah, I was invited to going to a party of a friend of mine, and I considered bringing a condom with me, because I was like, oh, I really had this desire of like connecting with someone and also fulfilling those sexual desires. And yeah, I remember that it was really a weird environment to be in, and feeling many temptations, and especially those for this desire of kind of connecting with another person in this way, right? Being intimate with another person, even, right? And funny enough, on a party, there was actually some drunk girl who was really into me, obviously flirting with me, and I'm really glad that nothing happened. But yeah, it really just shows, how I want to bring these examples because it shows how distracting life can be, and especially distracting of those goals that you want to reach, that I wanted to reach. And yeah, I believe that throughout all of those years where even more things like that happened here and there, I think it's a constant battle that you go through. I believe a big thing that made a difference was I was trying to follow my conscience. I truly believe that your conscience can be like a compass for navigating life. Um, Now you might ask yourself the question, oh, how do I listen to your conscience? Um, and I think that's a really difficult question to answer. I will try to tell you what I did to do that. Because I think that uh, yeah, I think what helped me is that I was always trying to be honest with myself and others. And if you ask my wife, she will tell you that honesty is one of my biggest qualities, which sometimes can have its downsides, right? If someone doesn't want to hear the truth, it's a bit tricky here and there. But in this case, it was a key for me to really understand what choices I should make in my life, and how to navigate that, right? Because each uh, choice you make is right. Yeah, which option do you prioritize, right? And yeah, so there was one particular time where I felt really frustrated with my dad. Again, he was my central figure for preparing for the blessing, And I was really struggling with him in my relationship with him, and I was questioning whether I should keep going doing these conditions I was doing together with him of reading Hundeke, reading the Divine Principle, and yeah, I felt that these difficulties were standing in the way of doing those conditions, right? And then through reflecting and thinking about that, I felt that, yeah, I mean, and especially now looking back, and even then looking back at that, I felt it really honestly was just like a cheap excuse that I was doing, right? An easy way to go out of this difficulty that I was facing with my dad. And yeah, actually, it's really funny. Like what I realized, your conscience will always tell you what the right way is, and right, most of that time, that way is the one that's more difficult. The one that you're trying to avoid. That's a bit more uncomfortable, right? And yeah, realizing that, was really important and required for me to be really honest with myself, right? To listen to myself, what I was thinking, also, but also be honest, be open to what other people are saying, right? Because I shared this thought with my dad, which I think was really important as well, and he helped me gain a different perspective, right? He pushed me to reflect and think about it, not just make a choice that easily, and I truly believe if I hadn't done the right choice in that moment, I wouldn't be where I am now, blessed, because that was a really important moment in my preparation for the blessing. And I want to emphasize this point again of like having someone who is supporting you on this journey, like my dad, but honestly, anyone, other people, right? I feel they're really important, right? They help you navigate, they help you stay in the right path, because it can be difficult sometimes to listen to a conscience, and sometimes you need some people who help you listen to that in that way. And for me, many times this was my dad. Uh, Even though this was difficult because, like I said, I did have a difficult relationship with him here and there, and listening to his advice was sometimes a bit tricky. So I also had other people, right? Like I shared before, this harp leader that I like to talk to, and who was a mentor for me, but also other people, pastors, but also friends and family. And yeah, I feel they helped me be honest with myself and listen, and they listened to what I was saying, and they helped me focus on what I truly needed, not particularly what I wanted, because these are two different things. And especially on this path, I feel it can be really important to distinguish also between these things. And yeah, so I kind of want to conclude with, yeah, now you are in this core program, right? You are surrounded by people. You maybe have a group who has been supporting you in this way, right? And you're all going the right direction, right? You're all going the same direction, even, right? You're all swimming with the flow, right? And it's maybe a bit easier because of that, I think that this is what the people who support you and surround you on this path, they really do. But these people, they're not always there, right? And now you're in a great environment that is supportive of that. But it will not always be like this, right? And sometimes you will maybe face this alone. Sometimes there will be other people. And I think it's really important to, yeah, again, have these people who help you prioritize your preparation, right? Remind you of where you want to be, right? For me, this was already blessed couples, right? People that I looked up to, right? People where I thought, oh, this is where I want to be in the future. And yeah, so I created an environment that helped me always get back on track and focus on the goals that I had. And I believe that was truly, truly key in doing that and prioritizing that. So yeah, I think the final thing I want to say is, yeah, try and find those people, right? Um, and yeah, I think you already are at a great place to start with here. And yeah, I want to wish you good luck with that. And I'm not sure if I talked too long or too short, but anyways, this was the main points that I wanted to share, and that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tim. Lovely to hear from you. The importance of choosing conscience in your journey, to really listen to your inner voice, but also to not do it alone, to invite people on that journey to keep you accountable, right? Um, yeah, super inspiring. I've seen your journey as well. Like, I remember late night conversations in Chomkyong about crushes and a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, it's wonderful to see you blessed. And the person who's you're blessed to is also a wonderful person who's going to share her side of the story as well. So, without further ado, let's welcome up Rebecca Stoica to the stage.
Hi. Hi guys. I hope you can hear me. I had some issues with Wi-Fi recently, so if you cannot just stop me and I will try to figure out the solution. But yeah, I'm Rebecca. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Italy, Padova, near Venice. And yeah, as Tim said, we went to the blessing 3 weeks ago, and I'm here to share a little bit of my journey and how I could put that as a priority. Um, yeah, in my life for this past 3 years. So I will shortly start with the first year of my preparation, and then I want to tell you some stories when I concretely started to look for someone. Yeah, so everything started after I had a really beautiful experience with God. And when I had that experience, I could really feel strongly in my heart that the blessing was something really important for God. So it became something really important also for me. But I knew that I was in a terrible place in my life and I had to rebuild a lot of things, a lot of relationship. First of all, relationship with God that was not there at all, relationship with myself, and relationship with my parents. So I spent 1 year investing in that, talking a lot with each of these people, and I invested a lot in getting to know the church more, reading the Divine Principle, learning what why the blessing is really important for God, just by myself and with my parents. And so yeah, this was 1 year long. I'm really grateful for this year that I could spend growing and investing in this relationship that I really believe are really important when you are approaching the blessing and the matching. And yeah, they're really, really important. So it was really worth it. And then after this year, I felt ready. I was like, okay, time to make the complete steps. So I prepared everything, the profile, the pictures, and everything. And I had this really strong thought and feeling that for me would have been like really easy. First one, I'll go to the blessing really quick, not that many troubles, not that many painful situations and everything. So I had this really not healthy mindset. So when we started, because of my past and because of difficult situation, we really quickly understood, me and my parents, that everything would have been like more complicated. So we started to look for someone. We received a lot of rejections. A lot of situations came out again. A lot of past traumas, past emotions that I couldn't heal before. So everything came out again. It was really difficult, especially for my parents. I think that I don't know a lot of situations because they were trying to protect me, but also I could see how challenging it was for them. And yeah, I felt really hopeless, and I felt, oh, it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be really challenging, and um, yeah. So I was, really soon I became more negative um, about all of this. And I want to tell you a really short story of also, like, and it's really important in my preparation, in my journey. So 1.5 years ago, I was in a matching process with a brother, and because of everything that happened before, I had this mindset, oh, I need to just compromise. I need to accept this because it will not get better. This is like the maximum that I can aspire to. So, but really soon I could see that that was not making God happy, it was not making me happy, it was not making the brother happy. So really soon I had to realize that, maybe it was better to say no. And when I did that, it was really difficult. I had a lot of difficult conversations with my parents. It was really difficult also to understand what was going on. I was so scared. I was like, oh, I had this thought that no way that I will go through the blessing in the next 10 years. No one is gonna accept me. I was really scared. But and during this time I was in a workshop and with a lot of help, with a lot of conversations with God, with people, I could make a really strong realization. So I realized that, um, yeah, no matter what, no matter how long it's gonna take, the important part is to keep walking, keep making the steps. So for me was keep investing in my education, keep investing in going deeper in understanding the blessing, connect with people, getting as much knowledge as I could. And in that period of time, I invested a lot in the core program. So I did few quiet cycles, and it was so helpful and helped me to heal, to make, like little steps to move forward in the direction of the blessing. Yeah, I could have a lot of beautiful conversations with a lot of beautiful sisters, and it's like especially the blessing is something that I don't think you can stop learning about. So it was so helpful. I grew a lot. And so, yeah, to conclude a little bit this short testimony, I want to say that, yeah, I really don't know in which part of your journey you are. If you're starting to think now about that, if you're preparing, if you're still in the middle of that, if everything is going really good, or if everything is a little bit more difficult than you thought, or you just had a really challenging situation and everything. I don't know where you are, but what I can tell you that was really helpful for me, um, with these little steps that you can keep doing, investing in your preparation and in your growing, God can really work. So the fact that you're here and you're investing in this in an active way, because you don't join core because, I don't know, maybe you want to meet new people, but it's mainly because you want to go deeper in this understanding, especially from God's point of view. So I yeah, for me, it was really helpful. And it was really helpful also to keep that as a priority. So, yeah, if you're here, I really believe that it's something really good that you're doing and that God can use that for your future blessing. So, yeah, that was my little story. And thank you for listening. And I hope that you could gain something from that.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, for sharing with us. Yeah, it's wonderful to see that journey from feeling quite hopeless about the blessing to now be blessed. It's amazing. So yeah, congratulations. We do have the opportunity now, though, to have a bit of a Q&A. So if anyone has any questions for Tim and Rebecca to go a little bit deeper, that'd be great. Please just unmute yourselves or write in the chat and I can read it out. But whilst people are thinking, I actually had a question I wanted to pose to both of you, because the way you shared your story, it kind of, we can see the success now. You're both blessed, right? But I know, not just because I'm one of your closest friends, but I've really seen your lowest points sometimes. I've really seen some really hard points where it looked very unlikely that you felt, oh, like, I never doubted you get blessed, actually, but it felt like you were losing hope at times, right? So my question is, how was that to be in that state? And really, how did you climb out of that state of hopelessness? What practically helped you climb out of that hole? I'd love to hear.
I mean, yeah. Um, yeah, actually, we worked together during that time. And I remember having a lot of conversations with you about this topic. And it was, yeah. But yeah, so um, it's kind of, I felt deep, like deep sadness during that time. I was like, oh, I just want to build something good, and I want to build something that is for God, and to feel happiness so I can share that with God and with the world. But it seems so far away, and it seems that all I'm receiving is a no. And so it's like it was really sad. Um, so it was, yeah, and I could feel a lot of, I think that especially during that time was also realizing this pain that is behind all of this, like from God's point of view. Because I don't think that like this is like ideal, like we ideally we, 'cause, yeah, everything would have been like really different, right? So I could feel also that it was like a little bit difficult to process, but what helped me a lot, it was like, yeah, receiving support from older sisters or older brothers and from older people in general to just talk about this, to see that I was not alone, that a lot of people were going through like really similar situations, and to keep in mind that the final purpose is that. So God wants us to receive that because He wants us to be happy, truly happy. So He wants to see us like at the blessing. So having that in mind and just giving myself time and talking with people was really what helped me to go out of that.
It's a tricky question. Because I don't know, that's already some time ago that I really felt hopeless, in connection to the blessing, you know. It was at a time where I just had started to prepare, you know, like I shared this time when I talked with my dad. Um, and also like I shared, I was struggling with porn and masturbation, right? And when I started that process of preparation, I was at a good place with this, you know, and then quite early into that process, I fell back into old habits, and that was really like, oh, um, how can I say, like, yeah, it was a bit frustrating, made me sad, and like, oh, like, because for me that was a big thing that I wanted to overcome, you know, before going to the blessing. And it took me quite some time, you know. So this was a big thing for me, where yeah, that caused me the most hope to lose, and if that makes sense. This is what made me lose hope through those years, here and there quite a bit, because at points it felt like I'm just not able to surpass that. You know, I'm not able to um, leave that behind me. Um, and actually, what was helpful for me is at a certain point, I was just like, because for quite some time, the blessing was something that's only theoretical, you know, in my mind. I was like, oh, I'm preparing for starting a process at some point. Like this and that, you know, was like, I mean, conditions in some way they are like you do something, you know, you do some sort of uh preparation, reading 100K or something like that. But what ended up helping me was making the blessing more real, like more substantial. And that was taking the actual steps that are required for me to start a process, you know. So that began, for example, with attending the 14-day divine principle workshop. You know, that was something else. Also, the blessing workshops, for example, were something, but they were not that effective because they were just kind of maybe casual is the wrong word to use for them, but it was just something that you had to do. But then what was more helpful, you know, like doing the interview and confession, you know, then creating a matching profile, you know, going through this matching and blessing handbook together with my parents, you know, attending a matching blessing workshop with both my parents, you know, um, talking about it with them, you know, and making that more real helped me then also like be able to leave that more behind because I don't know, the risk was more there, you know, because like I hope that makes sense. You know, because it seemed so substantial, it seemed so reachable, so the desire for me to leave that behind was greater, and that also brought me a lot more hope because I was actually taking steps towards what I was reaching, you know, and it seemed tangible, you know, it wasn't just a theoretical concept. Yeah.
Mm, yeah, thank you for diving deeper into that part of your story. Um, yeah, would anybody else like to ask any burning questions on their minds? If not, then we can move on. Last chance, in case anyone has something. But yeah, I think you both shared some wonderful things that we can take note of. So yeah, once again, I show our appreciation to Rebecca and Tim. Thank you so much. And I'm excited to see your future family and all of the little Tims and Rebeccas that come from
Mm.
your family as well. So excited to see that. Yeah. Okay. We've done a lot of listening, but now it's time to share. So I'm going to ask Maya to introduce the next part of the schedule.
Yep, thank you everyone. And yeah, I really liked your testimonies, Tim and Rebecca. Yeah, so what we'll be doing now is a brother-sister sharing or discussion. And for everyone who's not familiar with the concept, then you'll be divided into breakout rooms, a mixed gender one. And you'll be given 6 questions to discuss between each other. Yeah, so the questions are pretty like general. In the past, we used to do it 4 brothers and 4 sisters to ask each other. but now we brought you new questions in a new style. So yeah, you can answer it from your perspective as a brother or as a sister. And yeah, just try to keep the conversation very respectful. And yeah, we want to give you the platform to get to know the other gender before you go into a process, right? So yeah, just try to keep it very educational and respectful. And yeah, this is all. Are the rooms
Have
ready?
fun.
Yep.
So yeah, thank you, Maya. Let me send the questions in the chat here. There we go. I've got a few questions. And yeah, we'll have a 45-minute breakout. So you can really dive into the discussions as much as you want. So yeah, have fun, everybody.